Now let us start with one of the most important topic in JavaScript, that is the closure. So it is the combination of function enclosed with reference to its surrounding state, and it is used to give you access to an outer function scope from an inner function. And every time we are creating a function, then a closure also created. So what that means? So when we are saying the reference to the surrounding state, then it means we are talking about the lexical scope. So you can see in this function, we have the function that is called main function, and inside this we have a variable and again a function that is display browser name. And this function doesn't have any variable, it is simply accessing the outer variable. So in the above example, the display browser name is the inner function of main function, and we can access the display browser name only inside the main function. We can access this particular function inside this function only, not from outside any scope. And there is no variable defined inside the display browser name function. There is no variable you can see. Since the function can access the outer variable, then the variable browser is accessible. So according to rule, we can access the outer variables and the global variable. So this browser variable is accessible inside this function. And this is called the lexical scoping, which defines that a parser resolves the variable name, for example browser, from the nested function. And the word lexical refer to the fact that the lexical scoping uses the location where a variable is declared within the source. Let us go ahead with some examples that will use the closure and get to know what actually the closure is in JavaScript and what is the lexical scoping in actual what we are talking about. So from the simple to some complex example, we will get to know at the end what is closure and the lexical scoping. Let us start with creating the HTML file. Let's say we have a variable count equals to 0, and we have a function increment. That will simply increase the count value. Let's say the div ID is client1, So both are calling the same function, that is increment. So for now, let us simply consider about the client one. Let me just open this in browser. So when I am clicking on increment, let me just change. So when I am clicking on client one increment, then it is incrementing the value. The same way I am calling the same function, that's why it is incrementing the same value. But I want a separate increment for this client 2. Let me just create another function, increment. Let me say it's increment 2 and this is increment 1 and this is 2, and here I am saying it's client 2. So you can see when I am here clicking on client 1 increment, so it is incrementing the value. It is showing the progress for client 1, but I want the client 2 to be start from 0, but it is incrementing from the same state where the client 1 is. So you can see what I wanted is to show the separate increment for these two clients, but it is showing me the same increment for both the client. So we must be thinking about the count value that is getting incremented because it is on the outer side as a global. So let me just put that inside our both increment function. Now when I am clicking on increment, it is incremented by 1. When again I am clicking, it is not incrementing, same as with client 2, because now this variable is become local to the function, and when we are trying to increment, when we are trying to call this function by clicking on the button, when it calls, it simply assigns 0 to it. If somehow we are able to access this count from some outer side, what I want to say, I want this count to be outside of the function and should work as a separate count for these two function, for these two calling method, whatever its name. Right now it is increment 1, it is increment 2, but I want to access this variable as a separate variable for both of these clients, so that when we are clicking on client 1 increment, it should increment the client 1 value. When I am clicking on client 2, it should increment only the client 2 value, not just go and increment the same value, or just when we are trying to initialize inside the function, then it start from 0. So to overcome this problem, what we have to do, we just have to create a lexical scope for this count. So let me just go ahead and create a function. Let's say counter, and inside this let me just add this count equal to 0 and return function that will return the increment of the count variable. Now we have two clients, client 1 and client 2. Let's say client 1 equals to counter and client 2 equals to counter. So we are just calling the same function two times. We are just calling the counter two times and assigning the value to these two clients. So when we are saying client 1 equals to counter, then it will go inside this and create a lexical environment, and inside this variable it will assign the count value to be 0 and return this function, that is a function which will give you the plus plus of count when you call to it. So it means here what is assigning, it is simply assigning this function, that is this, and this will become the function. As soon as you call this function, this will execute. Let me just call here, let me just delete this count, we don't need it. I am calling the client 1 and here I am calling client 2. Let me just open the browser. So we have now the client 1 increment and the client 2 increment separately, because we have created a counter function that having the local variable count, and we are just calling to make a separate environment for these count variable, and we are getting a function in return. And when we are calling this function, we are simply getting the increment of this local variable count, and when again it comes to the client 2, again it will go ahead and get a function with the local variable count for this counter function, that is the outer function for this function, and every time it will call, it will simply get the increment of the count separately. Let me just see in browser. As soon as I am clicking here, it is incrementing the value. When I am coming to client 2, it is incrementing separately. So what actually here is happening, when the counter function is getting called, then it will go and create a variable and return a function to it. When it will return, it has simply created a lexical environment for this scope, and this count variable is accessible only inside this counter scope, and we have got this scope that has the accessibility for this local variable, for this outer function variable, and we are just out of the scope and calling this function from outside, but we have the accessibility of this count variable. And in the separate way, when it comes for the counter 2, it will go and again return you a function with this outer function variable. So both are separate. If I am saying on the previous example, we have the count variable that is outside of it and has the accessibility on both the functions. So that's why we are getting the problem to make it a difference to get the increment for client 1 and client 2. But when we have defined the count variable inside the function and initializes the 0, and when we try to increment, then every time it is started from 0 and assign only 1. But here this time we are executing this scope only one time and get this in return, and when we are calling this function, then we are getting the increment of this count. We are still able to access this count variable because this is just a function that can access its outer variable, its parent function variable. So it is looking something wide and something difficult to understand, but we have to understand when we are calling this function, it simply give you only this function that having this count variable, and you are simply calling and calling. When we are clicking on increment, it will simply call this method and this function is getting called. What is this function? This function is nothing but this one. So every time you are calling client 1, it is executing this function with count variable that is generated when you have executed this counter function. So first time when you have executed this counter function, you have got this variable, and in return you have got this function, and inside this the same count variable that is accessible, and every time you are calling to this client 1, you are accessing to this count variable, and in the same way for the counter 2. So when you are incrementing, it is incrementing the count variable separately for client 1 and client 2, and in the same way you can define n number of client and have the separate scope. So the closure is an inner function that has the access to the outer function's variable, global variable, and its own variable. So in our example, we have the access of the outer function variable, that is the count, in our inner function, and also the parameters of the outer function are also accessible from our inner function with the help of closure. Let's see that with the help of some modification in our existing example. So let us say it's client 1 and it is client 2, and this counter is taking client name as a parameter, and here we are trying to print client name, then progress, so now we are trying to access the outer function parameter from our inner function, that is the closure. Let me just open the browser. So it is showing the client name also. Client name 1 progress is this and client 2 progress is this. Hope you have understand the closure function that is useful in so many ways in order to create the variable and make it accessible to the inner function. So now all you have to do is to go and create the inner functions and try to access the global variable, the local variable and the parameters of the outer function in order to get the better use of the closure in JavaScript. Just go ahead and create the function inside the function and enjoy the working of closure. So that's all. Thank you so much.